So perhaps while people are coming in, I'll just remind everyone, we've been supporting, I think, the Red Siskin initiative for something like 10 years. You might remember we paid for, I've forgotten his name now, but he came out and he stayed with me from the Smithsonian, and I took him around a whole lot of breeders that bred Red Siskins. Unfortunately, Graham Wagstaff passed away a couple of years ago, and Graham's video has sort of taken off online, actually. But I've actually got, there you go, you can probably see them. There's a pair of Red Siskins sitting here in a show box that's going to our esteemed leader, James. Tonight, he came down and did his electrician. He came down and did some electrical work for me. So he's, in response, he's getting a pair of Red Siskins. And I've also got some other stuff, another big Red Siskin breeder, and I think Barbara might have even in Venezuela may know of Mike Fiddler. Mike's recently, I don't know if he sold, but in the process of selling his home, and was breeding a lot of Red Siskins and doing some research on Red Siskins until recently. But he's sold all his Red Siskins, and I've got some cool stuff that I just got from, in fact, look, I'll point the camera at it quickly, just there, but I might show you guys later. Some little heating pads and some nests and things that are really cool that I'm going to try with mine. But anyway, I shall pass over to Barbara. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Barbara.
Thanks to you, Sam. Nice to meet you all. My name is Barbara Santana. I'm the communication analysis in Red Siskin Conservation. I'm working with the team since 2021. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your support. I will introduce you my co-workers. Roxy, you wanna introduce yourself? Roxy, we don't hear you. Roxy, yes. Go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. I am Roxy Del Pelayo. The last 8 months, I have been the Red Siskin Initiative Coordinator. So thank you very much for the support to our conservation center. We have now very, very happy about this is the 3rd year with very success reproduction process. But now the people from the conservation center, I think, they have the opportunity to tell you about the work in the center.
Enrique, ¿quieres presentarte? I will introduce Enrique for you. I will translate Enrique for you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Enrique Azuaje, soy médico
Hello, good
veterinario.
morning. Espera un momento. Okay. Hello, good morning. My name is Enrique Azuaje. I'm veterinarian, yes, medical veterinarian.
Y curador del Centro de Conservación del Cardenalito de Venezuela.
And curator of the Red Siskin Conservation Center in Venezuela.
Un placer.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Samuel, can you please introduce you?
Hello, my name is Samuel. I am assistant at the Red Siskin Conservation Center in Venezuela. It's a pleasure to here with you today. Well, you will know more about me in the video that we made for you in a moment.
Great, thank you. Well, basically this is the team. There's other person, but she can be here, right? But you will see her in the videos. And so yes, Sam, do you want to start with the video? Sam, ¿me escuchas? Do you hear me? Yes, great.
Are you talking to your Sam? Yeah.
Yeah. With all the,
Yeah.
the Finch Society.
Anyone?
What do you want, guys? Do you want to start with the video? Because the Red Siskin conservation team made a video for us and see doing a tour for you.
So sorry, who's going to play the video?
I am going to play the video.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Give me a second, please. Okay. And
Hello there.
can you listen? Listen to it. Listen it. But I will.
We can see, but we can't see it playing just yet.
Okay.
Have you started it playing or not yet?
No.
Yeah. It's okay, I think.
Okay. Give me a second.
Hello there, it's a pleasure to greet you. Welcome to the Red Siskin Conservation Center. I am Samuel Beaumont, assistant of the RSCC. On behalf of myself and the whole team of this place, we would like to give you a tour in our facilities. And if we are lucky, we can see a part of the daily work routine. Follow me. At this place, we have the objective of reproducing red siskins ex situ to be released in their habitat. In the process, we learn and do research on the biology and ecology of this bird. For this purpose, we have 4 areas.
Starting with an office, where we manage all the administrative parts of the project and processes the data we generated day by day. A food area, where we prepare the daily ration that are offered to individuals for intake. This diet and care designed and monitored in detail by the curator and veterinary doctor and bird specialist of the RSCC, Enrique Suaje, have been decisive in the success we have achieved so far. In this place, we generate all the food and it is divided into rations for each day of the week. Each prepared food requires careful weighing to ensure the right percentages and doses of each component. Each Monday, the weekly rations of seed mix are served and the feeders from the previous week are replaced, ensuring continuous feed availability. On the other hand, we have a laboratory where our entire inventory of medicines is kept. And where we have the equipment and reagents for taking samples from the birds. A warehouse where all the tools and utensils necessary for the maintenance of the infrastructure are kept.
In addition to these areas, we have 7 interaction aviaries,
where red siskin pairs are placed together with native plants cultivated for their consumption. Here, we also practice a passive reproduction protocol induced by safe environmental conditions and abundance of food, which has led us to the first birth of chicks under this modality. To ensure an increasing number of red siskin each breeding season, we have an aviary conditioned for active breeding, where we have 12 pairs in 12 breeding cages. Here we control variables such as daylight hours, food ration, vitamin I's, genetic viability, and above all, hygiene, in order to make the best use of each pair. Right now, Yeshua Nieves, also an assistant at the RSCC, is preparing today's ration. Thanks to this, we have been able to ensure a growing population in the facilities and get closer and closer to the first releases. Due to the daily chores and interactions with the birds, even in the presence of the caretakers, we are able to observe interesting behaviors. It is customary for us to dedicate time to observe the feeding of the individuals, in order to ensure that each one eats the corresponding ration each day. During the reproductive season, it is common to see the females in their nest construction work, which includes the search for materials, in this case cotton and palm fibers. These materials are selected and then placed in the nest. In the aviaries, the food is placed in the outside feeders. Finally, we have a flying aviary, where the birds hatched at the RSCC exercise and interact with the native plants. Inside this aviary, we have a conditioning cage, where the independent chicks get used to consume the food from the feeders, interact with each other, and gets ready for their release.
The constant supply of native plant species from the red siskin's historical habitat would not be possible without the existence of this nursery,
in which 4 cultivation tables were established. Seeds of the selected species were collected in the fields, and the process of growing the plants that today are part of the diet and activities of the RSCC's Red Siskins began. Behind me, you can see Pedro Zacarias, who is in charge of planting, basic care, and phytosanitary control of the plants to ensure that they are safe for consumption by the birds in captivity. Allow us to increase the success of survival after release.
This whole effort began with the dream of removing the red siskin from the endangered species list, the same belief for which we continue to work until we achieve it. In addition to everything you saw today, this work would not be possible without the efforts of Roxy Bel Pelayo, who coordinates the project, the outreaching networks by Barbara Santana, the entire team of Provita NGO, the Leslie Patton Zoo, the Smithsonian Institute, and of course, you. Thanks you very much for your support and for joining me on this journey. Until the next time.
Thank you. That was terrific. Have you got more to present, or I'm sure we've got lots of questions.
We can ahead with the questions. Yes.
Is anyone in the? I've written down a few here, but is there anybody in the audience here who's got? Yeah, Brian has. Hang on. What'll I just hang on.
I'll run around.
We've got a runner for the microphone.
I'll run around the microphone.
Thank you. I'd be very interested to know the names of those plants that you're growing that are the natives. If we could see if any of them occur in this country.
Samuel,
I'll say it
¿quieres?
again.
Sí, I'm sorry. Ya va. Give me a second. Samuel, ¿quieres responder tú las preguntas? Estaban
Yes.
preguntando. Ok.
If I can.
¿Leíste la pregunta?
No, I
Están
can
preguntando,
hear.
preguntaron acerca del nombre de las plantas nativas que estamos cultivando en el centro de conservación.
Okay. Well, I will try to translate them. The common names of the plants. We select a lot of species, but the principles were some plants that are called amaranto. It's one of their numbers names. Another is the in Spanish we
Titanic-
name it
Titanic came through okay.
diente de león.
Could you perhaps afterwards email us the scientific
Mhm.
names and we'll look them
Yes,
up. In
yes, for
Yes,
sure.
we
in
have a list
Australia,
in
a lot of
there.
the like the basic sort of black seed that we feed is Niger. You know this plant, Niger? Like a miniature or Niger. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Abyssinia. Mira, muchachos,
I'm not
es
even sure where it comes
abissínica.
from, to be honest. I think India, but yeah, not South America. So not
No,
sure.
no.
But I'm wondering if it's sort of somewhat similar to the native seeds that they eat. We'd be interested to see some plants, particularly the ones that have the seeds that you're
Enrique,
feeding them.
están preguntando si tenemos plantas similares a la abisínica. Es una planta amarillita. Te la voy a pasar por aquí. Ellos le llaman níger. No sé si podrías mencionar el nombre de las especies en el
Sí,
chat.
más que mencionar el nombre de la especie, el negrillo es una especie que
Ajá,
ellos se les da allá, ¿ok? Es
ok.
una asteraceae. El resumen es que los pinus, ¿ok? Consumen asteraceae. Nosotros no tenemos el negrillo acá porque no es de aquí, pero consumen asteraceae de las que nosotros conseguimos aquí, nativas,
Ok.
¿vale?
¿Cómo me puedes escribir el nombre de esa planta ahí? No, porfa, en el chat, el nombre del científico. Well, we are switching between English and Spanish because it's easier for us. But Enrique said that in Venezuela we don't have the nigger, but we have a similar plant of the same genus, género. ¿No? Enrique will type the name of the plant here, but yes, we use a similar plant. Sí, yes, similar plant of nigger.
Yeah, it would make sense for us to try to source the same plants because, like, I know people. Well, there are growers in Australia that grow Niger because the imported Niger, it's been treated and it's too dry, and the birds know. I don't know how they know, but they know. They don't eat the imported seeds, so we have growers here. I've grown just a few hundred square meters of Niger years ago, especially for red siskins. And it's quite difficult to obtain here, but it would make sense that we grow the seed that the birds eat, you know, in Venezuela. Would
Yes,
make sense.
we have an species list of the plants we cultivate in the in the nursery, plant nursery, so we can share with you that list and discuss more about it.
That will be great. Then we can look them up. Any other questions in the audience? Oh, Steve, Fish, hang on. I'll point this over there. Maybe you can.
By the way, thank you for that. That was amazing to watch. What was the sprouted seed, the little tiny one?
Okay. ¿Escuchaste, Samuel?
No, I heard, but no, escuché muy bajito.
Pero, ok, abajo, no sé si activaste los subtítulos para español. Bueno, intenta activarlos, para inglés, perdón, intenta activarlos y así lo escuchas en vivo y en directo. Están preguntando por unas semillas pequeñitas, sprout seeds, en las semillas germinadas. ¿Puedes hablar un poquito más de eso, Samuel? Gracias.
Okay. Every week we use amount of these seeds for complement the rations for the daily rations in order to make the nutrition of the bird is better because we're better because these seeds are have percentages of proteins that we can increase with that offer, with the offer of those. That's why we offer them.
Yeah, I think Finch breeders generally sprout seeds, of all types for their finches, particularly when chicks first hatch, and it can also be a trigger, I think, to make them want to breed. But I noticed, I hope you can understand this, Barbara, but the sprouts in that dish, the actual length of the sprout, if you know what I mean, was quite long. Like I could see quite long white sprouts. Generally here, to get the highest amount of nutrition, it's only when the seed first pips. That's I mean, the science we've seen, that's sort of the optimum time to feed it. And I think we would generally sprout a whole lot, and then when we see it chitting, or we use the word chit, when the seed is just broken, then we'd put it in the fridge, to retard the sprouting, and then feed it. Yell at me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. If anyone else in the audience out here thinks I'm bullshitting.
Okay, I'm understanding. Understand you. I will translate to the guys. Chicos, ellos están comentando acerca de la longitud de las semillas germinadas, que ellos están interesados en saber por qué nuestras semillas están tan largas, porque ellos lo que hacen es cuando la semilla germina, la ponen en la nevera. Entonces ellos quieren saber qué estamos haciendo nosotros distintos. Samuel, ¿te animas a hacerlo? Por favor. Gracias.
Samuel.
Yes.
Solo comenta que evidentemente el brote es pequeño, pero una vez que uno lo ingresa en la nevera y dura varios tiempos, porque nosotros envasamos de la semana completa, ellos van creciendo un poco. Pero lo ideal es que el brote sea pequeño.
Yes, that's happened because we left them soaking for 3 days. At the beginning, el brote is tiny, but
The sprout. Sprout se llama.
The sprout is tiny, but before that after that, we put them at the fridge, and the sprout keeps growing a little bit, but it's not too much, and it not even affects the bird. That not affects the bird. We consume them in the same rate.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. You can send us a list of the scientific names of the seeds and plants.
Yes, for
please?
sure.
Thank you.
We can.
I think that's best. Otherwise, we'll go round and round in circles trying to get it online. Hang on, we've got another audience question.
Hello there. At what age do you release the birds, and in what numbers in each location?
Sí. Están preguntando a qué edad liberamos los pájaros y qué número y en qué locación. Si quieres, primero menciona algo yo y luego sigues tú, Samuel.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, well, we release them in the aviaries. We don't release them in the nature until now, because we are starting with the project. We start with the Red Siskin Conservation Center in 2017, and also until 2021 we cannot reproduce them and we have some complications, some challenges. So for us, it's a big achievement reproduce them. We have three successful reproduction seasons, but yes, we don't release them in the nature for now. That's the next step in our plans, but we are waiting and planning it. Yes, and go ahead, Samuel, please.
Well, basically, you said all that we have to say. First, we need to reach the breeding stock to produce enough birds, and also we like we have not released them into the wild yet. We are we have first conduct habitat quality studies, and then we can make some releases, but we do not do already.
Están preguntando. Y Samuel, están preguntando a qué edad los liberamos. Me imagino también que podemos mencionar a qué edad ellos los introducimos en los aviarios. Después de que nacen. ¿Puedes hablar de eso, por favor?
Eso, Enrique, se pasan al aviario después de un mes.
Ok.
Nosotros separamos los padres a los 45 días, ¿ok? Entre 35 y 45 días se destetan de los padres, ¿ok? Se retiran de los padres, se pasan a una jaula de manejo donde se observan por un tiempo, ¿ok? Y luego se ingresan a los aviarios aproximadamente cuando tienen ya 2 meses o 2 meses y medio de vida, ¿ok? Que ya podemos diferenciar con certeza que son machos o hembras, ¿ok? Porque eso nos sirve a nosotros para poder ingresar en el sistema, en la base de datos, todos los datos de las aves, ¿ok?
Ok. Ya va. Déjame decirlo. Okay. Enrique said that we separate the chicks of the parents the 45 days since hatch. That makes sense. I'm sorry, my bad English. Okay, great. Ajá. ¿Cuánto tiempo me dijiste que era después de los 45 días?
Aproximadamente 2 meses, 2 meses y medio, ¿ok? Porque es un
pasan en
periodo pasan de la jaula de manejo a liberarse en los aviarios, ¿ok?
Okay.
Porque duran el tiempo de adaptación.
Okay. And we see in the video a little cages in the aviary. And that is the yes, a cage with the fledglings. And the fledglings are in that cages 2 months, no, 2 meses me dijiste. 2 months. And after that, we release them in the aviary with the other peers.
I think another question from the audience.
Yeah, I was just wondering, how many do you breed a year?
Well, that's excitement because we están preguntando, I'm sorry, están preguntando cuántos hemos criado. Okay, in 2021, 2022, sorry, we breed 15 or 14 birds, 14 o 15 pájaros, ¿no?
16.
En el
16
en el 2022, 15, en el 16, en el 2023, 15 y ahorita ya vamos por 34.
Okay. We bred in 2022, 16 birds. In 2023, 15 birds. And this year, we are, until now, we have, ¿cuántos? 34.
34.
34 birds. It's a record for us, and we are very happy to do this.
So if you're breeding, what, 50, 60, something like that a year, what sort of genetic diversity do you have? Because that's like we have some breeders in the room here who breed 100 a year.
Okay. Yeah.
Sitting in the audience, yeah, and I'm just wondering, yeah, in terms of how you see that working with the diversity of your genetics. For some reason in Australia, we don't have any mutations. We have very pure looking red Siskins. We've never tested the genetic diversity, but would be interesting to find out. Maybe we have some genes in our stock that are missing, you know, from yours. Yeah.
Samuel, ¿quieres responder eso?
We haven't seen any mutation in our birds too, and we the major part of those birds that we have, we receive them from different persons around the country that have them like breeders and anything else, and they give them to us in voluntary ways, and they're coming from different populations from Venezuela. So that, and once one time, like in 2018, we made a genetic study with the birds, and we can see that they are not have any relation directly. But
¿Quieres mencionar lo de el studbook de Smithsonian? Porque ese es el manejo genético. Okay. And complementing the information that Samuel give you. Also, for this genetic issue, we count with the Smithsonian Institute, or partner Kate Rodriguez Clark is, I don't know if you know her, but she's a member of the Red Siskin initiative, and she helped us with the genetic, genetic issue. And we have a stud book, and they do in the Smithsonian all the part of genetics, not only for us in the Red Siskin Conservation Center, also for the breeders in United States. So she gave us a matrix with the most likely pairs for genetic, and yes, for genetic issue. Sorry. Do you understand me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be interesting for us to maybe submit, you know, some blood samples if there's any further testing done, you know, to from our birds to see whether they're of any use to the wild population. Obviously, moving birds from Australia to Venezuela, not so simple, but
Claro. Sure.
blood samples, not so difficult.
Yeah. Well, currently we don't have. I will ask Kate about that, because not all of us was here when that genetic samples or blood samples were taken. So I don't know the procedures, sí, procedimiento, sorry. But yes, today or this year, we are doing is give to Kate and give to Smithsonian or data of the birds. For example, this bird is confiscated by the authorities of Venezuela, and this bird was seizure of a breeder in Aragua, in the state of Aragua. So, probably they are not related to each other, and probably we don't have like, I think that the word is interbreeding, so we don't have give me a second. no sé si me puedes ayudar, no sé cómo se dice eso.
O sea,
No vamos a tener que se mezclen entre ellos, ¿sabes?
inbreeding.
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 Thanks. We don't have inbreeding. And yeah, yes, that's our method right now with the Smithsonian stud book.
Yeah, but with your population, you're, making sure to pair them to ensure that you maintain the genetic diversity. If you
Exactly.
understand. Of course, yes.
Exactly.
Any other questions in the audience? Nobody jumping up and down. Can I sort of change the subject a little bit and just ask you about? I remember there was the shade coffee idea, and also a friend of mine went and at some stage I'll get to South America. I certainly want to go to Panama and see some collections and things there too. So maybe one day I'll get to Venezuela and Caracas and visit. But I remember when he was there, he brought me back some chocolate that the Red Siskin initiative was doing. I'm just wondering about the coffee and the chocolate. Do you know what's happened with that as far as it being a way of raising money for what you're doing?
Yes, for sure. And the Red Siskin initiative has 5 axes. Breeding Red Siskins and Conservation Red Siskin Center is one of 5 of them 5 axes. Sorry. Other project we have in the Red Siskin initiative is Beers and Coffee Project. Beers and Coffee Project is in the mountain range, Cordillera de la Costa of Venezuela. And we are working in that area since 2017. And we still working with that, with the coffee growers. And well, we have since until now, we have more than seven. Sorry, the numbers in English are difficult to me. ¿Puedes decir 700, porfa, Samuel? Ayúdame con la palabra.
800.
¿Cómo? 700. Okay. We have 700 hectares of forest, of protected forest in the Cordillera de la Costa. And also we sell coffee. And unfortunately, we only sell coffee in national level, and we don't export. But we have other ways with with people who travel to United States, and we share our coffee with that. So we send them with them. And yes, that's our project. We are working in that.
Yeah, we love our coffee here in Australia. So if you can work out a way to export the coffee to Australia, I'm sure we'll drink it. And
Thanks.
chocolate, of course, we'll eat the chocolate.
Yes. Mostly of the coffee is beer-friendly coffee, for sure. Organic coffee. It's very tasty. It's yes.
That's great. Is there anyone else who's got hang on, John's got a question, I think. Might have grabbed some microphone. So this guy, John Brooks, was until recently breeding 100 odd a year, I'd say, at least.
Not 100, but up until 2019, 2020, I was doing 45 plus every year. Then we had the bushfires. We had a solid ball of smoke over Wollongong that lasted a full month. And my breeding season, basically, the birds stopped laying basically the first day of the smoke. And that was the end of that breeding season. And we've had such wet years that my breeding seasons have been fair, but not as good as they were before. The thing was, I breed my birds, or I was breeding the birds in a slightly different way to, well, I haven't heard anyone doing it the same way I do it. And I was wondering if there was some way I could correspond with you. I don't know if it's going to be of any use to you at all, but I figure if you've got the knowledge, you can either use it or discard it. It might help.
Okay, ¿entendieron?
Yes, you-
A little. Can you respond the question, please? Answer the question.
So are you, if I get some people here, John in particular, and I know there's a couple of other people here who breed a lot of Red Siskins, they can send you information about their husbandry and what they find works for them. May be of use.
No.
That-
Okay.
That's okay, yes?
Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
yes, that's
Thanks. Yes.
Any other questions in the audience? One other thing that I noticed, you had a soft food. I'm not sure if you understand what I mean by soft food. I guess egg-based food. It looked like that was being prepared. That yellow, like there was a sprouted seed, and then there was a yellow, looked like an egg-based food. I'm just wondering what was in that. Is that what it was? Was it sort of an egg and biscuit? If you understand, egg and biscuit mixture?
Yeah.
just biscuit.
That is what it was.
It's only biscuit. We do not use egg because here the humidity in the air is too high, and the egg rotten so fast, and that's bad for the birds. So we do not use egg. We tried with egg one time, but it get rotten far, and we discard it. We discard it.
We have the same problem with humidity here. I got around it by using freeze-dried powdered egg. It doesn't go off very fast at all. It takes forever.
Okay.
On that, in terms of trying to feed extra protein, which is, the purpose of these soft foods mainly, obviously other nutrients too. Have you tried feeding insects at all? Any insects?
No, we never try any insect.
Because often, I'm not sure. Joe, have you seen your Red Siskins eat mealworms or any insects? Yeah. Just grab a microphone.
All right, hang on a minute there, Joe.
This is a Joe Cavill, if you can, I'm not sure if you can see from the thing.
I've been breeding.
I don't know how long he's been breeding Red Siskins. Longer than I've been alive, isn't it, Joe?
Is this on? Is this on? Okay. Yeah, I've been breeding them since 1999. I feed me birds maggots, like the bushfly maggot.
Sorry, can you hear Barbara? I'm not sure if that microphone
Yes,
is working.
we can hear.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I feed maggots, so I breed other birds as well. But sometimes they take them, and like for years they just didn't touch them. I started breeding in 1999. I've been breeding for 25 years. Then you get years where they get into the tray and feed the maggots to they eat them. The hens eat them when they got young, so I'm assuming they feed them. It's very hard to catch the birds or see the hens feed the young. They're very secret. They know I know where the nests are, and they know I know where the young are, but they won't let you see them feeding the young. But I breed them in big aviaries. Or the last aviaries I had 6 meters long and 1.5 meters wide, and I breed them in, like I've seen your nests up there. You breed them in plastic Christmas trees. I think that's what you had. That's what I breed them in, plastic Christmas trees. They always stay green and they don't mold or anything like that. But it's hard to see them feeding the young. But they take the maggots. I breed a lot of seeding grasses, or grow a lot of seeding grass in my aviaries. I've got grass growing in there all year round. There's 4 different types of seeding grass I grow. I give them a bit of soft food, like egg and egg and biscuit I mix in with it. I don't mix water with the egg. I don't like that. It turns it moldy. But I feed, they get plenty of green feed and live food and plenty of flying space, you know, then plenty of room. I usually run I think the best is running 4 hens to 2 cocks is probably the best combination. But I breed them in big aviaries. I don't cabinet breed. I don't medicate pretty much. They don't seem to get worms. They don't go to the ground much. So I worm them maybe once a year, especially if it's been wet. But apart from that, I don't medicate at all any of the birds. The mine is probably as strong as anyone's.
I think what Joe's saying is common to most of us in Australia. I know in other countries, most Red Siskins are probably bred in cabinets by canary type breeders. Whereas in Australia, I think on the whole, our Red Siskins are in large aviaries, often in mixed collections. So I know in my aviaries, there's normally, you know, some Australian native wrens and maybe some African finches that require live food. And although I've just got Red Siskins again now, I had them for, I don't know, decades prior to the last 4 or 5 years. And mine sort of learnt to take live food, probably copying other birds, I suspect, a little bit too. But for us, that's probably not a really good protein source. I wonder if anyone's observed, probably hard to see it in the wild, but I would imagine that they would take some insects in the wild when they've got chicks.
Okay, I will translate to Enrique. Enrique, ¿tú estás por ahí? ¿Estás por ahí? Okay. Okay, básicamente ellos estaban comentando que hay uno de ellos que les da proteína. Ha criado durante 25 años y les da gusanos como proteína. Entonces dice que al principio ellos no comían y que ahora sí comen, pero o sea, se preguntan, o sea, por lo menos lo que entendí fue que se preguntan, qué tan buena es esa proteína. Entonces, no sé si te parece que les comentemos un poquito qué proteína nosotros les damos.
Vale.
Ok,
Fíjate,
ajá, go ahead, adelante, no, adelante.
fíjate, yo no utilizo gusanos, ¿ok? Más no es algo descabellado utilizar, ¿ok? Es algo que se
Okay.
utiliza.
Okay. We don't use worms, but Enrique knows the technique of feed them with that protein. Ajá, adelante.
El uso, o sea, el basamento es que en estas aves que son nidícolas, ¿ok? Para su desarrollo necesitan un aporte proteico mayor durante esa edad. En prácticas anteriores se comenzó utilizando, no aquí, sino en general los criadores utilizaban huevos sancochados, luego pasaron a utilizar harina de insectos o insectos vivos, ¿ok? En el caso nuestro, nosotros solo utilizamos la proteína que nos aporta el germinado, que vendría siendo proteína vegetal, ¿ok? Y la proteína animal la utilizamos o la adquirimos de alimentos concentrados especiales para aves, porque es más beneficioso para nosotros porque son alimentos que son procesados en base a calor, horneados, y eso reduce la cantidad de micotoxina o la presencia de alguna bacteria dentro
Ya.
del alimento.
Ok, disculpa. Ajá, es para traducirles de a poquito y me repites eso último, por favor. In resume, we use protein provided by sprouts, vegetable protein. Ajá. Continúa y coméntame desde proteína vegetal. Enrique.
Bueno,
Sí,
ok.
me dijiste también que usaban otro tipo de, ¿cómo se
Proteína
llama?
animal.
Ajá,
¿Ok? Tienes proteína vegetal y proteína animal.
sí.
Ambas son necesarias, ¿sí?
Ok,
Ok,
¿y cómo usamos la proteína animal?
nosotros utilizamos alimentos concentrados, ¿sí? Pastón de
Ok,
cría,
ok.
¿vale? Entonces, ¿por qué? Porque el pastón es procesado en base, o sea, procesado con calor, horneado, y esto reduce la cantidad de micotoxinas que pueda tener un alimento y la cantidad de bacterias que puedan estar presentes
Okay.
allí.
Okay. Enrique said that we, for complementing the protein, for complementing the protein food, and we use concentrated feed, a breeding pasture. I don't know if that's the term we use in Australia, but we en español is in Spanish is pastón de cría. It's a mix. It's a mixture. Processed, Enrique comments me that is processed by heat, and this reduce the amount of mycotoxin of the, sorry, this reduce the amount of toxins, like mycotoxins produced by fungi ay, se me fue el nombre, for hongos. ¿Me puedes, ajá, continúa, Enrique? Mushrooms, produced by mushrooms is the word. Sorry.
Vale. Lo importante es, para nosotros, y ellos deben saberlo, es tratar de llevar el nivel de proteína por encima del 20% en esta etapa, porque esto es lo que promueve el desarrollo de la musculatura y todo lo que es la conformación del ave a que llegue a adulta, ¿ok? A juvenil, a que pueda...
Okay. Okay. When they are chicks, we have to, Enrique comments me that we have to provide them 20% of 21% of the protein. Es así, aproximadamente, ¿no? De comida, o sea, 20% de proteína en la comida.
O sea, alimentos que tengan por encima del 20% o por lo menos el 20% de proteína, ¿sí? Ellos utilizan insectos, eso está bien. O sea, nosotros ahorita no utilizamos insectos porque no tenemos y nos lleva a un periodo de adaptación a las aves que se tarda, ¿ok? En estos casos, estas aves, por ser aves que vienen de origen silvestre, se tardan mucho en adaptarse a los cambios.
Ok, vamos a dejarlo hasta ahí. We use food that has more than 20% protein, and Enrique said that we don't have worms or insects. It's because mostly of the beers we have provide the origin is the wild. They are beers that are straight of the wild, see, of the nature. The process of adapting is slower than a beer that is breeding or is born, or they born in cages. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry,
Yeah, it does. I totally understand. You're saying sort of, 21% protein, and I get that that's in the soft food, and I would agree. Probably live food isn't a breeding trigger for the red siskin. The other question that came up for me was, just while we're on food, most people who breed red siskins here feed a lot of green food and a big variety of green food. I think is a big thing for red siskins. We've had some of our breeders here like show, fill a table with different pot plants of all these different plants. The plants that you showed, do they eat the leaves and stuff too, or were those plants more for seed? Do you understand?
Yes, we understand.
Leafy sort of vegetables. Yeah.
Samuel, ¿entendiste? ¿Podrías
Es que
contestarla, por favor?
utilizan las hojas. Es que si consumen las...
Exacto. Exactamente, están preguntando si nosotros en la alimentación que les damos en las plantas que nosotros cultivamos en en el vivero, ellos comen las hojas. Y bueno, no sé si les puedes dar detalles de las cosas que consumen y qué es lo que estamos haciendo más.
Yes, West. Yes.
Thanks.
From the plants we cultivate in the nursery, we put them into the aviaries. The birds that were in those aviaries eat the leaves, the seeds, even the flowers for some species, not for all, but they choose what in the variety of species we offer them, what they going to use of every species of plants. We record this to make information and everything. But in the cases of from the breeding season, we do not offer them these plant species. We just give them el germinado, ¿cómo que se decía, verdad?
Sprout.
The sprout. In the cases, we only offer the sprouts. And lechuga es cabbage, ¿verdad?
Lettuce.
Lettuce and lettuce, the sprout and lettuce. But in the aviaries, they use everything, the parts of the plants.
I think when I was breeding red siskins, when they're breeding, they would have eaten, and maybe other people can disagree with me, a hell of a lot of tons of green food, actually, and I think, what we call thistles, yeah, it's like it's a weed basically, but my wife gets in trouble if she pulls it out of the garden because I love this weed thistle that we feed to all the birds. So that's maybe a little different. I think feeding green food daily would be what would happen here. Even I think in cabinets, they would get green food for those who are breeding cabinets. Yeah. A lot of green food would be eaten by siskins that we breed, particularly when they're breeding.
Nosotros les damos cardos. Es una planta con una florcita morada. ¿Sí le damos? Cardos, no
Pero
sé si...
no el cardo que ellos utilizan allá. ¿Ok?
Ok, bueno, eso es lo que está comentando.
Sí,
Yes, no, dime.
Nosotros utilizamos una planta que tiene semillas muy similares al cardo, que es una planta nativa de acá, ¿ok? Es una planta de una florecita amarilla, nosotros le decimos Wedelia, ¿ok? O la especie es Wedelia, y tiene varias subespecies, es muy grande, tiene, no sé, como 40 subespecies. Pero es una semilla muy similar al cardo.
Enrique said I was asking him if we use thistles or something similar. In Spanish, is cardos, and he is telling me that we use similar plant, not cardo exactly, but we use a plant that is Wedelia, and Wedelia is the genus of that plant. It's a plant with a flower, a yellow flower. But yes, we know the thistles.
Thank you. Is anybody else got questions? Can we do an aviary visit? Where you want people are saying we can maybe we can hire a plane. The club can pay to hire a jet to fly over to see you. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe we'll donate some more money, but yeah, I think flying the whole club over is probably a bit much. Just one last question. Do you know on the actual wild birds, is there what's the estimate of the wild population, both, you know, near you in Venezuela and also in Guyana, well, I don't know, wasn't that recent? Seems recent to me that they located not so long ago. So the wild population.
Okay. We estimate that it's probably males or 100 birds, red siskin birds in Venezuela. Wild, yes, in wild status. But it's an estimate. We don't have that part of our goals. Keep studying the population, the white population in Venezuela. And we currently we are studying a population of Red Siskins in the state, in Zulia state, a recent discovered population. That's yes, our goal with this study is see what the birds are consuming in the wild and offer that in the Red Siskin Conservation Center, offering that same species of plants. But yes, the estimate is meals and probably 100 birds wild in the wilderness.
So sorry, how many hundred? Like
300.
Three,
300.
300. Yeah. Not,
Samuel, I'm sorry. Samuel, exacto, estás muteado.
The estimate is like 3,000, 2,000. That's the more optimistic number that we have. But there are some other estimates, and for me, there are more accord to the reality that the number is very, very slow, very, very low than that, like just 1,000 or even 500 birds in the wild.
yeah. So yeah, somewhere between a few hundred to maybe 2,000.
Yes.
And do you think, I mean, we've been involved here in Australia probably for, I don't know, 10, 15 years at this club. Or is that, I think that's probably about as long as it's been going with the Smithsonian. Have the numbers, are they just stable or are they reducing or increasing, decreasing? Do you have a sense of that?
In United States?
No, in the wild, is the population, do you have a sense of, is it going up? Is it going down? Level?
Okay, we have an estimate in United States because we work with them and in the stud book, in the Smithsonian stud book, and a variety of zoos facilities are involved, and we know that number of Red Siskins in United States, but we don't know exactly in other parts of the world. So yes.
No, but he's meaning in the wild here.
In the wild, I'm sorry.
Here, the population here. And we can assume is decreasing because the pressures of poaching, of habitat destruction, and everything that affects the birds, they remain. So we can assume is continuing decreasing, and for that's why we work so hard at the RSDC for more faster than slow. We can release some birds in those places that we are studying right now.
Thank you. And any other questions in the audience? Well, can I just say thank you very much, because I believe that you guys, early morning for you.
Yes.
So thanks very much for getting up so early and talking to us. Our annual general meeting is next month. I'm the treasurer, and I think I can probably, say that we'll donate more money up to the members, but I think so. So thanks very much for taking the time to come out to get up early in the morning and join us on Zoom, and for putting together the video too. Much appreciated. We would love, I have seen some footage of Red Siskins in the wild. If you've got some video footage of them, that would be really, really cool too, if you could forward to me. And it would be great to have those, then the scientific name of those plants, and we'll go searching for them here. And I think there's a few people in the audience who would like to send you some husbandry stuff too. So yeah, much appreciated. And
Okay.
yeah, hopefully I'll get to Venezuela one day, or maybe you come to Australia.
Amen. Yes, for sure. You are welcome every time you. Well, the situation of Venezuela is not the most likely these days, but yes, Venezuela is a beautiful country, and yes, for sure, Samuel and Enrique and I love to to visit Australia some days and see the Red Siskin, the Australian Red Siskins. And thanks to you for listening us. Sorry for my bad English.
No,
But
much appreciated.
okay.
Thank you very much. And although you can't hear them because I've only got a microphone, I think everybody's cheering or clapping or something. They're all waving.
Oh, oh, great. Um,
Thank you so much.
that's great. That's great. I hope you like the video, and we'll share with you too the video that Samuel, Enrique, and Yesha prepare with so much love. They're
Thanks,
working
Cecilia.
hard. In
Thank you,
yes,
and have a great day. See you.
have a great night.
Night.
Bye.
Goodbye.